Should I wear glasses? No, I'm not gonna wear my glasses. Actually, maybe I should because I probably look tired without them. I'm gonna do that. Hi there, my name is Colin and I'm going to share a very special recipe with you today. Summer strawberry shortcake with a champagne whipped cream. Let's get started. Before we do anything, we're going to preheat our oven to 450 degrees. And then we're going to macerate our strawberries. So I have 2 cups of chopped fresh strawberries. And to that, I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of freshly squeezed lemon juice, a 1/4 cup of granulated sugar, and 1 to 2 teaspoons of finely grated lemon zest. And we mix it all together. So just toss that all around. It's not gonna look like much. It's not gonna look particularly appetizing. It really just kind of looks like strawberries with some like crystals on them. But once those are done macerating, it's gonna be really delicious. It'll be a little bit looser. It'll be yummy. All right, now we just set this aside and work on our biscuits next. So in a large bowl, I have 3 cups of all-purpose flour. I really like all-purpose flour because you can use it for all purposes. I've made that joke before. It's not new. Okay, so we have, again, 3 cups of all-purpose flour, and to that I'm going to add 1/4 cup of granulated sugar. I'm also gonna add 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 4 teaspoons of baking powder, and 1/2 teaspoon of cream of tartar. That is all of our dry ingredients in one bowl, and now I'm going to whisk it all together until it's well combined. Oh, I think I just inhaled some flour. All right, I have whisked this for about a minute, so I know it's well combined. Here I have 3/4 cup of cold butter cut into chunks. That's it's a stick and a half. So I'm gonna throw that all into the dry ingredients, and then I'm going to cut the butter into the dry ingredients until it resembles a coarse, pebbly kind of sand. It's very important for you to work with cold butter. The reason is cold butter is solid. And as that melts and evaporates in the oven, it creates those flaky layers and pockets of air in the biscuit, which makes it tender, flaky, and just nice. I have a pastry cutter. You don't have to use a pastry cutter. You can just use your hands or even 2 butter knives, whatever you have at home or whatever you're comfortable with. So you really want to use your muscle. So it's like rough and pebbly, and we still have nice chunks of butter that have remained solid. Now we add some wet ingredients, or as I like to call them, moist ingredients. I have a cup of cold milk. You can also use cream. And to this, I'm going to crack in 1 large egg and whisk it together. And now we add this to this, all at once. Now we're gonna mix all of this together by folding the mixture in on itself with a spatula or a wooden spoon. Now, we don't want to overmix it, but we do need to make sure that all of our dry ingredients are getting hydrated with the milk or cream. I like to finish this off by hand just to make sure that it's well combined. So I'll just coat my hands in flour and then gently knead it in the bowl for a couple of seconds. So this is what my dough looks like now. It's all come together. I'm going to turn it out onto my work surface and knead it a little bit more, and then we're ready to cut them into our little biscuits. And I'm just gently kneading it just to make sure that everything is well mixed. Now we want to pat our dough down so that it's about 1 inch to 1.5 inches in thickness. Try to work quickly so that the heat of your hands doesn't melt the butter. Now we're ready to cut out our biscuits. I'm using a biscuit cutter, which is 2.5 to 3 inches in diameter. These are great because they're quite tall, so they can cut through dough that's quite thick. If you don't have one of these, you can just use a cookie cutter, or you can even use a ramekin or the rim of a glass or cup. So I'm gonna cut circles of my dough out and then place them on my parchment-lined baking sheet. And be sure to dip the cutter that you're using in flour to make sure that it doesn't stick to the dough too much. Now you will end up with some dough scraps like this. Just gently knead them together, pat them out again, and then cut some more circles. As long as your dough has remained relatively cold and the butter hasn't melted, you can keep doing that. So I got 9 biscuits out of my dough, which is actually a little bit more than I thought I was going to get, so that's great. And now I'm just gonna brush the tops of these biscuits with additional milk. I'm using like a silicone pastry brush. If you don't have a pastry brush, you can just spoon a little milk on top and then smooth it out with your fingers. All right, here are the biscuits before we bake them. I'm gonna throw these into my 450-degree oven for 10 to 15 minutes, maybe a little bit more. Every oven is different. Just make sure to monitor them and you'll know that they're done when they're nice and golden brown on top. Look at these beauties. They're so tall. Okay, my friends, now it is time to get creamy, because what is shortcake without whipped cream? It's just biscuits and fruit. Today we're doing a special whipped cream because it is spiked with champagne, because we're celebrating, right? It's the end of summer. The champagne is totally optional if you don't drink, or if you're serving this to kids, of course. I mean, maybe the kids do want to drink, but they shouldn't. Okay, all right, I have 1 cup of cold, heavy cream. And to that, I'm adding 1 tablespoon of icing sugar and a tablespoon of skim milk powder. The skim milk powder is also optional. It's just going to help stabilize your whipped cream if it's going to be sitting out for a little bit. And now we add 1 to 2 tablespoons of champagne or sparkling wine. Oh, there was no cork. I thought there was going to be a little cork, but it's just a thing. All right, I'm adding 1 to 2 tablespoons of champagne into my cream mixture, or just a teaspoon of vanilla if you're going booze-free. Okay, now we mix this on high until we achieve stiff peak, and I will show you how you know if you've achieved stiff peak. Start your mixer on low to make sure that things just don't fly everywhere all over yourself and your kitchen, and then increase your speed. You will know that you have achieved stiff peak because when you hold this bowl over your head, nothing should fall out. Oh, okay, we're not quite there yet. Yeah! Oh, you can't quite see. Woo! Nothing is falling out, so we have achieved the stiffest peak possible. It is time to assemble. The first thing I'm gonna do is fill a piping bag with my whipped cream. This is just a regular disposable piping bag fitted with a closed star tip. I'll show you that up close. This is a closed star tip. And now I just take my whipped cream and shove it all inside. All right, now to get the whipped cream to the bottom of the bag, we're just gonna like gently shake it and then just gently twist off the top. So I've got 1 of my freshly baked biscuits on a plate, and because of those delightful layers, it's gonna split apart very, very easily. Just like this. Ooh. All right, so I'm gonna take the bottom half, put it on my plate, and I've got my macerated berries. They're really nice and juicy now. They've released so much liquid, and yeah, it's looking delicious. So I'm gonna take a generous spoonful of the macerated strawberries and top the bottom half of the biscuit. And now I'm going to take my whipped cream in the piping bag and just pipe a nice little swirl on top of those berries. Now I place the top half of the biscuit as a little hat on top of everything, and then I'm gonna do a light dusting of icing sugar and some finishing on the plate, and then we're ready to eat. And that is it, my friends. We are finished making our summer strawberry shortcake, and I can't wait to dive into this and eat it right now, all by myself. What better way to celebrate the end of summer than with a delicious dessert? So I hope you made this at home, and if you did, feel free to tag me on social media at Colin Asuncion. I hope you've had an amazing summer. Again, I'm Colin Asuncion, and I will catch you all later. And now I get to eat! Woo! I mean, come on. I mean, look at that. That is cute. Not to toot my own horn or anything, but like, this is very good. Do you think I could make a career of just eating things on camera? I mean, actually, probably. Did you want some? Just kidding. You're watching a video. You can't eat it. All right, my friends. That's it.